All right, we are back. Episode number 2 of D.R.E. Dee Reyes Experience. I am thrilled to be giving you guys a second episode tonight. I've already heard a lot of good feedback about the first episode. A lot of people really liked it. We had a couple haters who disliked it, but we look over those.
Fuck the haters.
Fuck the haters. As my guest here, who I will introduce in 1 second, has said. So fuck you guys if you disliked that. So yeah, the guest today is the man, the myth, the legend of high life, Mr. Bob Handsom, and the crowd goes wild.
Wow, what an introduction, huh? Thank you so
Yeah.
much, Mr. Reyes, for having me on this prestigious podcast, the D.R.E. episode number 2 with B.O.B. You know what it is, ladies and gentlemen. How we doing, huh?
I like that with B.O.B. Did you stayed up late last night working on that one or what?
Look, we don't need to go into the details or whatever, let's let the people enjoy it, you know what I mean? But yeah, a couple hours.
Listen, man, I cannot tell you how much I genuinely appreciate you coming on this show. It really means a lot to me. And I think it means a lot to the people in Los Santos that you made some time out of your schedule to sit down with me. And I'm really glad that the people are going to get to hear from you.
Well, I am absolutely honored to be here to speak with you and to, speak to the greater audience of Los Santos. I hopefully I can give you a nice little, little podcast to enjoy on your travels around the city, huh?
Yeah. We've had already a couple people told me that this is good for the Ron route or the Go Postal route or Group 6 or whatever. But anyway, without further ado, Mr. Handsom,
Yes, sir.
Who are you? What's this? Who's this Mr. Handsom I've been hearing about? Tell me a little bit about yourself.
Well, as you said, yes, my name is Bob Handsom. I originate from a town known as Liberty City. You might know of it, you might have heard of it. I don't know. Little known fact about me, many people assume that I'm, from, since I'm from Liberty City, I must have, it's where my, cultural background is. I'm actually French, believe it or not. And Bob Handsom is actually properly pronounced Bob Handsom. So that's a little known fact that I thought I'd drop here, here on the D.R.E. So if you want to properly pronounce my name, there you go, everyone. Now you know, huh?
So there's a little funk in there. Actually.
There's a little funk in there, yeah. But okay. I moved into this city, probably about what six months ago now, and I was, I wouldn't use the word humble, but I came here, with an approach of, let me see how I can do in this city, a new fresh start for me. How can I leave a mark here, right?
Right,
so
absolutely.
So I, in my early days, I was trying to think, what am I gonna do, right? Driving for Group 6 for a little bit, I was like, oh god, those things are ridiculous. Can't be bothered with it,
Right.
But I ran into a gentleman one day over at the clothing store down by the VU, and this gentleman's name was Donnie.
It's
And
a dangerous fucking place, by the way. That clothing store is. It's probably it's one of my least favorite places to stop in the city. I didn't mean to interrupt you, but that place. I've had my car stolen outside of that fucking clothing store more than any place in the city.
And even outside of Weasel News.
Yeah, no. Well, listen,
I'm just messing.
Yeah, no. We actually have a nice little place to tuck the vehicles at Weasel, but at that place, and if the VU's open, forget about it. But anyway, I almost got off on a rant. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No worries.
What were you saying?
Yeah. It is a little dangerous territory over there, but you know what? Hopefully our boys in blues, they hear this and they give a little patrol around there a little more often.
We hope. Yep.
We hope. Fingers crossed, right? Anyway, so yeah, I run into this gentleman. His name is Donnie. He's like, hey, my guy, you should go fishing. It's a pretty good trade in the city. I go fishing. All right, I haven't done that in a while. I used to do it as a recreational hobby back in Liberty City, whatever. But little did I know, this guy was one of the top fishermen of the town. Here he is, such a a nice guy, blessing me with this information, and boy, that's what got me rolling, because I mean, let's be real here, money talks in this city, right? So if you want to get anything done, you gotta have the dollars in your pocket to do so. Am I right?
Right. Yeah. Exactly. And I feel like that's what a lot of people don't realize. I mean, you work at the casino, so you see how a lot of people in this city, want to get their money.
Oh yeah. Well, here's what I'll say on that real quick. We'll touch on the casino a little bit later, but
Okay.
if you're thinking you're gonna get fast money and you're gonna live this high life or whatever, you got another thing coming to you. All right. You got to earn your stripes around here. All right. That's a word of the wise.
I
From
agree.
Bob Handsom, huh? And Dee Reyes. There you
You
go.
don't
We
you
got
don't
an
get to know
endorsement.
anybody sitting on those slots all the time,
That's the damn truth. You hear that? People, you can fucking pay attention, huh? But yeah, so I mean, he blessed me with this information. I, started, I became a fisherman. I met quite a few people that way, hanging down by the manga, it was good times, good early days for me, very, very chilled out, before, the rise to fame, I suppose. And lo and behold, one day I'm, looking here on my phone and I hear the Diamond Casino is opening, and I'm like, huh, you're kidding me. I used to love gambling, for fun, of course. I'm a reasonable, responsible gambler.
I
Everyone,
can't
I
do it,
hope.
man. I don't trust myself. I don't
You
trust
know what?
myself.
You
Because
got it.
I hear
Go ahead.
stories. I hear stories. Like my friend, I have a friend who goes there and gambles often, and he'll say things like, if you go sit at the high limit, you just go through the first 50K, but halfway through the second 50K you'll start pulling back. And I'm like, bro, after the first 50K, I'm fucking out of there. That's it for me. There's no second 50K. You've lost your mind.
So I'm saying, DC, a lot of these guys are coming out with the whole bank account. They're throwing the whole thing at it. They're like, I'm going for broke
And
or
if you
the
win, that's
richest.
good for you. But if you lose, then like you lose. That's there's that shit's got to stop eventually. You got to make that money back somehow.
It's the truth. Look, there's only one strategy that you should approach blackjack with, ladies and gentlemen, and that's basic blackjack strategy. Any other theory that you might come about, just remember that if you're not playing according to that basic blackjack strategy, you're playing with luck. So if you get lucky, congratulations. If you don't come crying to us, all right?
I think that's the worst thing about gambling, is that I think some people they bullshit and then they get lucky and they win and then they get to think like, yeah, that's right, like I'm a fucking genius or whatever. Because
Yeah,
it's really, I mean, I guess there is, you can start doing math, I guess, in your head. I've never like looked into that shit, but I feel like it's just luck with me. I
same
don't
here.
know. I don't know. But anyway,
Yeah.
I don't know how
well,
we got off on that.
that's all right. You know what? That's what this is for, right? You
It
know what I mean?
is.
Like, it's a
It's
free form podcast. Let's talk. You know what I mean?
it's
We're
it's
humans.
uh
We're not robots.
it's for people who like to talk but have a fucking terrible attention span. So it works out. We just bounce from thing to thing. It'll buff out.
That's what I'm saying. Hopefully the people they enjoy our ramblings. If not, then maybe we'll do another podcast where we're a little more, not bounce house out over here. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
no, man. I'm just glad you're here, and I think it's awesome because I've been, heavily anticipating this, and so have you. And so it's just, it's cool to be able to sit down and actually talk uninterrupted. There's nobody running up to us, trying to speak to us or anything like that. It's really nice,
That is
and it's
absolutely.
quiet. So, and we have a lot of time to do it, and it's wonderful.
Yeah. So anyway, let's head back to the origin
Let's
stories
do
of
it.
Bob
Back to the
Handsom.
origin of Bob Handsome.
So we're an established fisherman now. I bought myself the Paradise van. I used to drive around in that. I used to call it the Bob Mobile. I don't really drive around in it too much very often, but that thing did me well. That really got me from point A to point B. I'll tell you that. And so the Diamond Casino opens up, right? And I'm like, oh man, like let's go do a little gambling, right? My friends at the time, they're working, doing their thing or whatever. They're like, Bob, come out, come hang out with us here, whatever. I'm like, nah, I kind of want to go play on the tables a little bit. Next thing you know, I'm like always at the casino. I'm sitting there on the tables, I'm building a little reputation for that guy who's just always there, right?
Yeah.
And I was just thinking to myself, I'm like, I'm always here. I'm having to split my time now between fishing, to support this new gambling phase of my life, and you know, I why not just cut that out? You know what I mean? Why not just apply and work at the casino, right? So
I
I
mean,
did, I did that. I filled out an
yeah,
application.
absolutely. That makes sense, and it's kind of funny that one of my the first time I ever met you, I guarantee you do not remember.
I
I,
guarantee you, I don't.
yeah, there you go, exactly. So I was a little tiny, cute, adorable D word myself. Okay,
Mm.
um, I was running around, from smoke on the water to the casino, from smoke on the water to the casino, just trying to talk to people. And you were really one of the first powerful personality people that I met in this city, that really had some energy behind the person they were. They had really good energy, they had good vibes, everything was a good time, we can laugh at everything. And you were my dealer. And I'll never forget that because I don't think I saw you around much more after that. I don't go to the casino often, so that's probably why. But
I'm glad I caught you when I was still dealing much. I
yeah,
don't do much of that
it
anymore,
was
but
a
that was my bread and
blast,
butter.
man. It was a blast. I had such a good time. I'll never forget that experience. It was one of the first like true great experiences I had in the city. And I would always go back in there and I was like, I'm gonna hit the blackjack tables. I'm gonna make sure I'm gonna see if that guy's there. And there were
Wow.
times where I would walk back there and if I didn't see you, I didn't know your name. I didn't remember it. But I just knew your voice, I knew your personality. I was like, if I see him again, I'll know who it is. And I don't think I ever ran into you again.
That's unfortunate, I mean, sometimes, I'm a bit elusive, I mean, what can I say? But, I feel honored to think that, in your early, moments here in the city that, I left such an impact on you, and so I appreciate you sharing that with me. And you make me want to, I'm a supervisor there now, so I don't really got too much time to deal. But you make me want to hop back on the table and start
Listen,
wheeling
man,
and
we'll
dealing it. You know what I
fucking,
mean?
I'll call you up one day, man. You can get your jersey out of the rafters on the old blackjack table, and we can hit it. We'll hit the table, and you can take all my money.
Hey, you know what? I wouldn't have it any other way. What can I say?
I like it. I like it. But yeah, so the casino. You started working at the casino, and
Yep.
so was that just did things at the casino kind of fall in place for you? Was it hard for you to adjust to? How did go on? How did beginning your casino work go?
Yeah, so I mean, the casino that I started at is a very different place to the casino I work at today. And that's not a knock, that's not anything, it's just it's what it is, you know what I mean?
Right,
So
right,
like to give an example of it, right? I put my application in. I didn't start working there until, like a month and a half later, right? I mean, it was a long process for me, get my application approved, to get my interview, this and that.
right.
I was very eager, right? But there was times where I thought to myself, man, am I ever gonna get a call back here? Am I ever gonna get a chance to prove myself? And I there was a point. There was one day in particular um, that I was talking to the former HR manager there, and I was like, hey, I really need to get this interview done because if not, I can't really make any more time for it. At that point in my life,
And
and
sometimes if you don't do things like that, the things some they get looked over. So I mean, you did the
yeah,
right
and
thing.
thank
I feel
goodness.
like.
I agree wholeheartedly, and the stars aligned, and I finally, I got my interview, and next thing you know, I'm a part of the team. I get my training about, a week and a half later, whatever, and then I'm off to the races, right? And I'm like, all right, here we go. Let's, I'd already been kind of making a little name for myself there, and also at the same time, hosting a few little events that I'll get to here in a little moment. There's little things I used to do that I don't do as much anymore, but I started, get into a groove. It was very daunting at first to work behind the table, especially I wasn't the best mental math guy, Granted it's only 21 numbers, but you got all these different cards and shit.
Right,
Gets
right.
crazy.
So was that hard for you to pick up on then, or?
Initially, yeah, I had to really get into the groove, get into the rhythm of things.
Oh
But
yeah, there's
once I got
definitely a flow when you're dealing your cards, and I can tell when you get a good blackjack dealer. It's like they're hitting a beat with the things that they say, and they just get into a rhythm. They get into a flow. Their math is quick. Their little quirks are quick, and it's an enjoyable experience.
Absolutely, and I feel like a lot of people don't really give our croupiers at the Diamond enough credit for the work that goes into it because it is daunting. It's almost like how a Ghost Records artist would get up on stage and perform. It's the same thing that I try and describe to them. Um, but yeah, so once I got that down, I obviously I had a bit of a personality, right? So once I got comfortable in the role, I was allowed to shine, and I guess make moments happen like with you,
Right, right, of course.
and plenty of other people, but I just was settled down there. But I was also trying to make a name outside of the casino. I was trying to do different events and stuff, so to speak.
What did you try to do? Because like I want
So,
to get events. So what did
oh
you
yeah,
try?
my first thing that I really wanted to do, and shout out to my boy Rick Ritter. because this guy, he was the first journalist I ever worked with in this city. He was an independent journalist, and he gave me an opportunity to try and get my name out there and, try and make my events, go through the roof. So, Rick Ritter, if you're ever out there and you hear this, shout out to you, my man. You're a fucking great guy,
There you
and,
go, Rick.
there you go. So, but yeah, so to stay on track with that, one night I was hanging out at the VU with a couple of my lady friends, couple of my boyfriends, all that jazz.
Right, right.
And we're just bored, this and that. And the ladies, they just start fighting with each other. And I'm like, oh God, like, what's going on? Like, ladies, let's take it to the cage, because they have, a little caged off area in the
Yeah,
VU
yeah.
parking lot. And next thing you know, EMS show up and we got a little cage fight thing going on here. And I'm like, oh my God, I see fucking dollar bills. My mind is going crazy.
You got that
And
mind, that business mindset.
oh, absolutely. And it was like, I wanted to get this all female cage fighting ring going and get that off the ground. But unfortunately, just different things, logistically just didn't never panned out. And I still one day want to get that done. So, ladies, if you're listening to this, you're interested, you want to fight, I'll put a big prize pool in for it, ladies only, in the cage. It's gonna be crazy. All right, so there we go.
I think that would be an interesting source of entertainment that would probably get a surprising number of, it'd probably draw a pretty big crowd, honestly, because the fight nights alone are great. I like going to the fight. Do you ever go to the fight nights that they have?
Oh, I love the fight nights. My favorite. I'll say this. This is, no knock on anyone who's hosted fight nights. I've hosted call meets that I've turned into fight nights. Just goofy, fun stuff. For us to have a good time. But the best times I ever had at fight nights were up in Polito Bay. It was over by whatever warehouse it was, close to the bank. There was like a 3 week span where they were going off back to
Oh
back to
yeah,
back.
oh yeah, I remember
Great
that.
times.
Do you know who
Great.
ran that? Who ran that show up there?
I can't remember. The only person that I remember being a part of the crew, he was the referee. His name is Mitchy. He's a good
Mitchie.
guy.
Okay, because
Yeah.
I know, Garnett, and do you know Sid
I
Bloom?
believe so. Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
then I think CJ and who else is in that? I can't remember their names, all
These
of
are
their names,
familiar
but
names to me. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So anyway, they do something at the Yellow Jack, I think weekly now, where they do like a car meet, and then it kind of
Mhm.
turns into a fight night in the backside of Yellow Jack, and it's been pretty successful for the last 2 weeks. I mean, the parking lot gets absolutely packed with people, with vehicles. People are in the bar having drinks. Somebody usually, opens up. A lot of different people on that bar out there. They open up and people will just be hanging out in the bar, and then eventually they flip sides to the backside, and they get the fight night going, and it's actually
Hell yeah.
drawn a pretty large crowd. I think they're trying to do it weekly right now. So if that fight night thing's what you like, you should check that out. And it's
I'm
pretty
absolutely going
organized. It's
to.
like Polito Bays, because I know what you're talking about. They're just really organized. Right
Yes.
there across the street from the clothing store, in that little
Hmm.
lot. Yeah, they were really nice. But anyway, so you mentioned something earlier that I thought was pretty interesting, and I kind of want
All
a
right.
more broad. I want a more broad. I guess I want to widen the lens a little bit. So you said that the casino that you started working at is not the same one it is today. Now, what would you say that the city is the same city that you came into? Like, how do you
No.
think? No. Okay.
No, absolutely not. And I mean, it's not a knock on anything that, this is life. Life, things change in life, you know what I mean? And whether that's for good, whether that's for bad, that's for you to decide, I mean,
Right.
my perspective on things, are here or there, but I have them, right? Like the city that I came into, I feel was, very welcoming, warm place. And I think there's still that here. I think there are plenty of people that, endorse that philosophy. But the more and more I drive around these streets nowadays, the more I see these fucking, as I like to call them, bozo gangsters, fucking
Ooh.
running around, driving around, leaving their cars in the middle of the road, fucking doing this, doing that. I mean, it's almost like the culture of this city. There's something in the water that's just making us all go fucking crazy. And it's like Why can't we just settle down a little bit? Like, let's, it's a little more love. You know what I mean? I mean, geez, I'll be the first to admit. You know what I mean? I've been a bit high strung over the last few months, and I feel because of this culture that I'm describing in the city. I don't, I'm a very easygoing guy. I wanted to make people happy. I wanted to be the man of the people. I mean, shit, I ran for mayor at one point of this city.
Yeah, that's something else I wanted to talk about. I want to keep talking about just like I want to share my view kind of as well and discuss that with
Absolutely.
you, but I do want to touch on the mayor thing. So is it I kind of tend to agree with you. When I came into the city, it seemed like I don't know if it was just because I was naive. I was oblivious to a lot of things. I was ignorant of a lot of things, as far as how things run in the city. But it seemed like it's people are a little bit more high strung,
Oh yeah.
and it's just like there's there's a lot there's so many there's criminals running around, and it's part of the city. It's part of the city. It's part of life, like you said, and whether you like it or not, you know, like you said, very wisely put. That's for up to you. That's up to you to decide. But it has been kind of crazy here recently, especially more recently. With the city, kind of coming back from what I guess we could call somewhat of a lockdown.
Yeah.
And it's just the streets are wild right now, and so I kind of agree with you on that.
Yeah, and I mean, look, I say this from a place of love because I love this city, right? I would have moved out many months ago if I felt, oh, you know what, this isn't the town for me. But you know what?
Right,
There's just
right.
something about the energy here, and I think a lot of people can say that, that just it keeps us around, it keeps us motivated to keep moving and grooving, as I like to say. And it's like to expand on the idea of like the casino I knew versus the casino of today, right? The casino that I knew when I first started working there, was, we had people that come in. Like the first day I'm working as a croupier, we have this guy. He's on the table, things are going well, and next thing I know, he runs out of money. We, get him out of there, whatever. He's like, hey, guess what? I'm gonna kidnap you. As soon as you're done with your shifts. I'm like, oh, what the hell? So first thing I do, I go to my supervisor. We got that guy blacklisted. So I'm thinking, oh god, this is crazy. But things kind of settled down nowadays. Anyone, you can just go there for yourself. Go to the casino parking lot.
Oh,
Go there.
listen, you don't have to tell me. I talked about it I can't remember if it was in an episode we released yet or if it was in episode one. But I tell people, if you want entertainment, maintain a safe distance and stand in the casino parking lot for 15 minutes.
Yep.
If you're not fucking amazed by some of the shit you see, I don't know what's going to do it for you. I don't know what's going to do it for you. I have seen some psychopath shit in that parking lot, Pop.
I mean, shit. I was there for 30 minutes earlier today, and there was like three different gangs that came through. Fucking bird people. I mean, just you name it. You know what I mean? You'll see it there. Like it is the pinnacle of entertainment. But see, while I say that as entertainment, it is also a bit of an annoyance, right? Because we're a business. We're trying to maintain, a safe, secure environment there. And I mean, shit, we've been inundated with multiple bomb threats, this and that. I mean, forget about that.
Yeah, I,
You
I
got
was there the other day.
enough of
There
that.
was a 737 in the air. There was a guy claiming that he had a 737 in the air and it was going to hit the casino for some reason. I don't even know the reason. He took a box inside, and they weren't sure what was in it. He kept saying bomb, and evidently it ended up being a fucking teddy bear.
Hmm.
And all while this is being investigated by the police, the dude that made the bomb threats, like running around in the parking lot, like talking to us, like, yeah, like there's just a teddy bear in the box. I don't know why they're so upset. I'm like, why the fuck are you even standing in front of me? Shouldn't you be like cuffed or something?
That's how I was like, you're describing the exact feelings I had. I couldn't believe this guy was running around uncuffed, like as if like because I mean, everyone knew he was claimed to be the guy. Like, it wasn't a secret. You know what I mean? Like, and I was in there with him. You know what he was complaining about? That he
What?
left his fucking credit card in there or something, and
Oh,
that we
that's
stole it
right.
from him.
That's right. He said he couldn't find his fucking credit card.
I'm like, dude, like, what are you talking? Like, I don't know what's going on. Like, I was trying to defuse the situation. Next thing you know, Mr. Reyes, I'm holding this fucking box. All right, I'm trying to escort it out of the casino because I don't know what's going on. That he put it down there. It's beeping. All right, it was absolutely beeping. All right, and next thing you know, I'm being told, put it down, put it down, put it down, come out of the casino, you know. And all while this is going on, people, fucking multiple people sitting on the slots. Oh, I'm not getting up. I can't be bothered. I gotta push my button. I mean, could you believe that?
Oh
You know
god,
what
that
I
makes
mean?
me that gives me fucking goosebumps. The I can't be bothered, or the I can't be arsed or asked or whatever the fuck.
Yeah, I mean, fuck, if a potential bomb that's gonna blow up in the building you're in, it doesn't want to get you off the slot, then I don't know what will. You know what I mean? I really don't.
That's the city. I said, and I know I said this in episode one. The city has an addiction problem. It is an addiction problem. The city has a gambling addiction
Oh yeah.
right now, and it's crazy because like I had a guy walk up to me and my buddy Vlad the other day, and this guy was like, I can't. I think he was like in a Lamborghini or something. You
Mhm.
know, been in the city for like 2 weeks. It's like, yeah, I made 1.5 million off the slots. 1.5 million dollars.
Oh yeah. You want to hear a little game? I'll put a D.R.E. You know, maybe I'll get in trouble for this, maybe not. I don't care.
What do you got?
Our first day with the slots open,
Oh, I
we
heard about
lost
him.
$13 million from the casino
Cracked.
fund,
I
ladies and
heard
gentlemen.
before they updated the software.
Congratulations.
Before they had to get some technicians in there overnight to fix the software. But I heard before that those things were absolutely fucking twisted.
They were cracked, as people would like to say. They were
Yeah,
fucking cracked.
they were fucking cracked. And yeah, and I won 15K. I sat down on the first day they were around and that they were operable, and I won 15K, and then I never really sat back down because I just kind of knew, you know, like this isn't gonna fucking, they're gonna get these things fixed. There's no shot. You know, remember when Ron went through that? I don't know if it was like a typo, like in like corporate or what, but they were paying people like $15,000. They're rank fives,
I remember
like
this. Yeah,
fifteen
yeah.
thousand dollars for a route. And I was
Hell,
like,
they
listen,
even got me working back there for a
I was
moment.
like,
I was like,
that's a clerical error. It's gonna be fixed. You know, one of the secretaries or something mistyped something, and so I don't know what ended up happening, but I know that it got fixed pretty quickly. They addressed that quite quickly.
well, do you recall the great the rainbow trout flood many months ago? Do you
I
recall that?
I don't. Right as I got into the fishing game, I didn't get to experience it for long. You know, because
It's unfortunate.
yeah. So right as I got the lay of the land with as far as fishing goes, which I guess doesn't even really make sense, but right as I got the hang of fishing, things kind of started to get a little cheaper, I guess.
Mhm.
So yeah, I bounced out of that scene pretty quick.
Which is a shame because, like I described, very early on here, that was, the thing that got me off the ground. And now people like they can't be bothered to go pick up a fishing rod, get a van, get their bait, and go, start catching some fish. You know what I mean? Because well, for whatever reason, over there at the manga, they're mongling up the money. You know what I mean? They're just like, you know what? Nah, we're not gonna pay you up anymore. And it's like, come on, you know what I mean? Like, so I'm sure they lost plenty of business, but it's sad because it's a great way to get your feet up off the ground, and
And it's such a peaceful experience too, fishing in Los Santos. It really, truly is. I mean, the mornings
mhm.
are beautiful, the sunsets are beautiful, the days aren't too bad. It never really gets too terribly hot here. The nights are nice and quiet, and so I miss that. I miss that, and I like to get out on the water when I can. And I think I should. I'm going to start bringing a fishing pole again.
Yeah, you know what, Mr. Reyes? I think you and I, maybe we gotta start trend setting here. You know what I mean? I think maybe
Yeah,
you and I, maybe we host a little fishing extravaganza or something. You know what I mean?
grab some cold ones, take them out there on the boat, a little
Yeah, maybe.
sunscreen.
Yeah, I think I could be down for that.
It's a good time. It's a good time, and it's just some people don't have the patience for it, but if you do, it's one of the most soothing things for me because that's really a good time to. You have one thing to focus on, unless you're in a conversation, and it's that fishing
Hmm.
pole. And outside of that, you don't have anything else to worry about. And so it's just a really good time to clear your mind, and get a hold of yourself. I've always enjoyed fishing. I did it. My father, he before he passed away, he fished professionally.
I'm sorry to hear
And so
about your loss.
and it's all right. It took a while for me to get past it, but um, anyway, I grew up fishing, so it's something that I've always been able to escape. It's always been an escape for me, rather.
I love to hear that, and that's exactly what it should be. You know what I mean? Whether you're in it for the economic benefit or just the pure mental escape that it provides. I mean, it's a beautiful thing, and
Yeah,
I
it
think
is.
more people should enjoy it. So you got a formal recommendation from Dee Reyes and Bob Handsom here. People, go fishing, go
Go
enjoy
go
yourselves, huh?
fishing, people. How about that, huh? How about you just go fish? Um, but anyway,
Another
no, go
thing that I
ahead.
like to do that soothes my mind that I
What
used
is
to
it?
do quite a bit was yoga,
Oh,
or
you know
as I like to
what?
call it, joga.
You are a yoga. You know what? I hope you don't take any offense to this, but you look like a yoga dude. Like you look like you get in touch with yourself and really yoga it out. Maybe it's the new hairstyle. I'm not sure what it is, but there's something. I think maybe I associate yoga with just being zen, and you look like a very zen gentleman. So I think that's why I'm associating you with yoga.
Well, thank you. I mean, that's what I try and do. I mean, I decided, it's been a while. Most people, if you've seen me around recently, I've been wearing my hair pulled back. I haven't really been doing much with my beard. But I said to Mr. Reyes, I said, if I'm going to be on your podcast, one of the first few guests here, I'm getting pretty for the damn thing. You know what I mean? I'm doing my hair. If you guys see the post outside the casino, you see this pretty face. You know what I mean?
You
Or
look
should
good,
I
man.
say this handsome face?
You look great. Yeah, there you go. The handsome face. You look wonderful, man. I like the ensemble you've got. The red. That's a tough color to pull off. And then you've got the pea coat with the turtleneck, the chain, and the sneakers. You're doing it all. And so hats off to you, good sir. You did it well. The
Thank you
shades are
very
the
much.
cherry on top.
We try and capture a vibe in everything we do. Look, I'm not much of a
Absolutely.
car guy, but my aesthetic is the BMW M8. All right, and as you remember, we'll mention this to the people. It's a little goof and gaff, I guess. Earlier, Mr. Reyes was giving me a tour at the Weasel News office. Very generous of him to take me around there. I appreciate that so much.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
While we're in there on the tour, some people decide to steal my car. Shame on me for not having anyone watch it, whatever. But shout out to the LSPD for catching up with them after I reported it stolen. I'll be seeing you at the impound later on.
I
So
mean, we were there for like 10 minutes.
I'm saying they're scouting. These bozo gangsters are always scouting. They're always on the move. They're waiting. Well, I shouldn't say that. Sometimes they're caught up at their garage, hanging out.
Listen, dude,
You know,
the other day,
brawling with each other.
I was at DW with my 458. I have a 458 Italia, and I was at DW, and I'm going to get it painted. And somebody walks up to me in a mechanic outfit. They ask for my ID. I'm like talking to like three or four different people. That's usually how it is at DW. And I'm not thinking anything about it. Sir, can you unlock the vehicle? I'll pull it up into the garage. Yeah, I got you. I unlock it, and he gets in and takes off.
Oh my God.
I get the vehicle back. Shout out to LSPD. You guys did a wonderful job.
There we
Um,
go.
so yeah, I it got taken at DW, and when I got it back, like I said, LSPD got it. I took it back to DW, which was honestly pretty dumb, but like we were watching it, and we even put another nice car in the parking lot because this kind of been a reoccurring theme at DW recently. So we
Oh, the
kind of put
bait
a
car.
yeah, we kind of put the bait car out there, and nobody touched it or anything. We got the paint done, whatever. We go outside, we do the invoice. As soon as they start doing the invoice, when you're kind of focused, you can't really do much else. Somebody comes around the corner dressed as like one of the cosmetic guys, hops in it and takes off.
Oh,
All
disgusting.
within, dude, went straight into the ocean. You
Oh
know?
my God, these guys. You know
So
what?
whatever, man. There's no gain from that. What kind of
No,
gain,
there's not.
So anyway,
Selfish jealousy. That's what it is.
that's what it is, and that's fine. If you want to be jealous of me, that's fine. You don't have to be. Don't be jealous of me. Just I don't know, fucking do better, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, so the mayor thing, I want to reach. I want to touch back on that.
Sure. Okay.
So what was that about? Because I thought I heard about that, but then I don't. I kind of lost touch on everything. I guess I
I
missed
mean, that's
something.
that's kind of how it happened. You know what I mean? I'll take you through it the best way that I can describe it, right through the eyes of Bob Hansom. So I'm hanging out at the casino one day. I have this gentleman walk up to me by the name of Michael Malloy. He
Very
says,
familiar. Yep.
"Yeah," he says, "Hello. I am a struggling gambling addict, but I am also running for mayor of this city. I want to readjust the speeding fines of the city. I want to do a bunch of shit, bunch of radical shit, to be quite frank with you. And you know, I was like, okay, this is interesting, and no one was really, he was, running, he was getting attention, holding rallies and stuff, and no one was really, putting opposition against him, right? No one was running against
Right.
him, and I couldn't imagine, in this big city that there was no one that wanted to, uh, at least put the, name in the hat, so to
Nothing's
speak, right?
free. You know, nothing's free. You know,
Yeah,
there's no
exactly.
way this guy's gonna. I see what you're saying. You know, no way this guy's just gonna skate into the office with, especially with an agenda that not might, everyone might not agree with. You know.
Yeah, for sure. So I mean, I believe Victoria, Daisy Wolf, she was, for a moment there, she was putting a name in the hat, and she, I think, it's kind of bowed out a little bit, once I kind of put my name in there, and I was trying to, you know, give him some opposition, you know what I mean, and see, hey, if people really want a mayor, let me put my name in here, let me give some of my thoughts on this city, and I mean, I wanted to. I can't even honestly remember the things that I was proposing. It seems like an eon ago that I was running for mayor. But I really did it more so for the people. I feel like the people needed someone that they could rely on, they could speak to, and that they could have a good connection with, a relationship.
Right.
Someone
Right.
that isn't just this mysterious figure that is
The
you
down
hear
to
about it but you never
earth
see him.
politician. You know that you can reach. He's obtainable. He's not hard to confront.
Absolutely.
So
And that's what I was aiming for.
what was on, if you don't mind me asking, what kind of things did you have on the agenda?
I mean, I was looking to, he was trying to, readjust all the speeding fines and
Right, I
stuff.
heard about that.
I wasn't, too big on that. I personally, I wanted to see some change in the LSPD. While, I've given them their props. I feel that there are certain officers within there that are just, too pre-consumed with, wanting to chase after the big bad, get the big case, right? There's too much. Think about all the speeders and stuff that get let off the loose. They only get their fines, but I mean, geez, there are people recklessly driving around
Yeah,
this town, you know what
absolutely.
I mean?
Oh,
And
for
they
sure.
deserve, and they're drinking. Let's not undermine that. They're absolutely drinking.
Or
Let's get
doing
these people
something at
behind
least.
bars. Yeah, let's make them teach a lesson. Let's work about maybe trying to get some rehabilitation in here, and this and that. But I wanted to do stuff like that. I wanted to have more police presence at so for example, you mentioned your car getting stolen at the DW. I've had issues at the casino, buku issues. Imagine if we had one LSPD officer who was just always around to hang out, do some just LSPD security. You know what I
Oh,
mean, at
okay.
these
I see what you're
locations.
saying. So
You know
like,
what I mean? If
a
they have the
scheduled
resources available.
a
Yeah.
scheduled patrol, kind of
Not
scripted,
even
if you
just a
will.
patrol, not even just a patrol, like an officer of the law to just be in the area to, make sure things are good, like because a patrol would entail, they're driving around, they're keeping a perimeter or something. I'm talking about they hang out at the DW, they hang out at the Diamond, just an officer, you know what I mean? For
Right.
the quick reliability, because they always are talking on their radios, right? To get, a message out there. Because I mean, geez, look at like I mean, like mentioned at the casino with all these bomb threats. Imagine I wasn't the one to have to talk to this, terrorist, so to speak, right? And it was
Right.
an officer of the law talking with them right off the bat, right? You know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah.
So,
No, I hear
but
you.
that
I
was
hear you.
that was one thing, that I thought about, and I don't know, just I was really more trying to hear the people, you know what I mean? I wanted to hear what they wanted because that's what mattered to me. The biggest thing that I heard about was, we got all these beautiful restaurants around the city and no one's working. You know what I
It's
mean? No
true.
one's working in them. And it's like, man, like what could I do as mayor to potentially,
Get
incentivize
these
work
businesses
in
going.
it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Not so much that, I guess, but hopefully, maybe me speaking up about it here on this platform, who knows in the future, maybe people are working there because I know that is a popular issue. That had to have been the number one thing that if anyone got excited over, it was that idea. That's people want that. They need something else to do in their day to day.
No, I understand, and it's hard to. There's a lot of voices in the city, and it would be a monumental responsibility to assume the position that is there to hear those voices and kind of try to make things happen for those voices, because that that that's a lot. That's a lot of responsibility, I guess, is what I'm trying to get at.
100%.
And I
It was more than
personally,
I was ready to take on. I mean, I'll be
I
honest
wouldn't
with
want
you.
that weight, man. That'd be crazy, and I think that it does take, someone who's committed to things like that to do a job like that, because, if you can't be, committed to hearing what the people want, then it's going to be a hard time. You're going to have a hard time, keeping people around, or keeping votes, I guess, rather, you would say, as a mayor.
Oh yeah, it's true. I
So,
mean, it's all about the election, the re-election, all that jazz. If people aren't voting, then what are you doing, right? I mean, that's the whole point. But it is what it is. What
so
can I say? I dropped out of the race because at
right.
that point I was just I couldn't be bothered. I was at a point where I was reaching a boiling point in this city where I was just unsure if I was gonna be hanging around here much more. I couldn't take certain disrespect of certain people that was just like who are you? You know what I mean? Like these people, certain people in the city, they love to high road you. And it just blows my mind. It's like this high roading attitude's got to stop. You know what I mean? Like, don't get me wrong. Like, there are some people that will walk up to you, they'll be aggressive, they'll be disrespectful and stuff, and you got to match that energy. You know what I mean? You got to shut them the fuck up. But you know, other people, it's like that you come to them with compassion, care, all this jazz, and they're snooty little bitches. And if you're hearing that, if you think that applies to you, then maybe you should look yourself in the mirror. That's what I'll say. You know what I mean?
Let him fucking
Because
know,
enough of
Bob.
that.
Let me tell you something. I've got Bob fucking Handsome on the Dee Reyes experience, and he's telling you how it is. You're not gonna fucking hear this anywhere else. I promise you. And I appreciate you coming on here and just saying what's on your mind, because really, as long as we're not I don't want to say offending people, because I'm sure someone's gonna get offended somewhere down the line, but as long as we're not putting people in harm's way, or spreading misinformation, I like it. I like to be told the way it is. So that was
Sure,
pretty that was pretty
I'm
straight up
speaking
and
my
down.
mind.
There you go.
Thank you. I mean, look, if you hear this and you think, I have a problem with you or something, then let's talk about it, right? Let's just talk, right? That's the thing I want to do the most, right? I'm here on a podcast talking, right? You see me at the casino, I'll talk to you. You see me on the streets, I'll talk to you, all right? They call me my friends. They say you're a social butterfly. Like I'll be fucking walking out from one thing and I'll be in a conversation. They're like, Bob, we were just going to this thing. Like, what are you doing? Like, slow down. You know what I mean? Like, let's just talk more. Let's hear each other out. Let's see, like, hey, what is it that we have in common here? We have so much at odds, right? That's very blunt and plain. But let's work out what exactly we have in common, and maybe work for a little greater good or something. But who knows?
Listen,
Maybe not. Maybe the bozo gangsters will take over.
when I put my name in the hat for this podcast thing at Weasel, I said that I want to help people realize that conversation is a tool. And I feel like people try to use it as a convenience, where they only speak really when they feel like that they need to. But
Hmm.
sometimes if you slow down and you just talk to someone, you learn new things, you work out old problems. Conversation is such a key tool in the day to day, especially in a place like this. So settling your differences through conversation is a means outside of violence, and I'm a big advocate of that. So I agree. I mean, I think that whenever I get into situations with people, I definitely don't want to close those people out, or like try to ignore those people. Maybe to like cool off a little bit, if they're trying to get in contact with me, after we've had a falling out or something. But I really don't like to extend those things any longer than they need to. I'm not a big grudge holder. you know I don't
I'm
like
the
to hold
same
grudge.
way.
It's silly. It's a waste of fucking time. You got so much. You got so much life, and why waste any time of it being mad? Like going out of your way to ignore someone and be mad at somebody. If you got to remind yourself that you're mad at them, are you still
It's a
mad at
waste of
them?
energy.
Yeah. So, but I guess people are different. But
It's
anyway,
true.
so we heard about the casino and how you got there. We heard about running for mayor, and where that ended up. What's up at the casino now? I mean, what's it like now for you? I mean, you seem like, have you ever worked anywhere else?
No, I have not. I've only ever worked for the Diamond Casino. That is,
You think it'll stay that
aside
way?
from the I mean, I've been approached by various different organizations before. I had someone mention to me, they were like, "Hey, you might be a good lawyer." After seeing me berate a blacklisted member of the on the casino. But I don't know. To be honest with you, I love the casino, and I think it to really give something the attention and love that it deserves, you got to really commit yourself to it. And, no offense to anyone else here, but this is a personal opinion. All right. I feel like too many people in this town split themselves too thin. I think if people allowed themselves the opportunity to really invest themselves in something rather than I got my toes in this and my fingers here, this and that, well, it comes at a benefit in certain regard, it'll run yourself dry,
Right,
to really
right.
have that something to focus on. I think it allows, more growth in a healthier way, right? Because that's something that I think, you know, this city, I'm starting to see more growth in positive directions than I have in,
Oh,
previous months,
100%.
you know?
100%. And I love it, dude. Like the
I
stuff that's
agree.
happening, the things that are changing in the city, I like all of it. I
Oh, yeah.
made it a pretty big point to say, how much I've appreciated, the changes that have been made in the city recently, my last episode. So,
I heard it, and I'm here to say that I am the same way. The Bob Handsom endorsement is there. All right. So,
yeah,
thumbs up to that.
I only, I'm an attorney here in the city, and that's been my, I do part time, security at the VU, super part time, and I enjoy that. But being a lawyer is, you know, it's been such a priority for me, and I didn't know that it's okay sometimes to take a step back and let something else be a priority until the Weasel News thing, came along because I haven't been in the office as much but I feel like I'm still happy. Like I would find myself if I ever did take a break from the office. I felt like I was just kind of not doing anything and wasting my time a little bit.
Hmm.
Because I'm a productive person in a sense that I always like to be doing something, whether it's actually productive or not that can be discussed. That's a different story, but
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah,
like to be
yeah.
doing something. And so it's nice to find something else that I can do now, and it's so productive and gratifying, to sit down with people and shoot something and then, be able to produce the whole thing down to, editing and shooting it and all that stuff. And obviously, I've got, help here, with, multiple cameramen. I appreciate you guys for being here.
You guys are fantastic.
Yeah, you
Thank you
guys are
all.
awesome, but it's just a good experience overall, and I'm really glad that I've had this opportunity. And it's a privilege and an opportunity. So, yeah, man. As far as like, I think that's as crazy as I'm gonna get with jobs. I really like where I'm at in lawyers, and I like what's happening here at Weasel, and the VU thing. Like I said, like you said, you kind of a little bit of a social butterfly. I can be quiet at times, but I definitely can, spread the wings out at times and talk to people. It's something I like to do.
I think we're seeing it here with this podcast, my guy. I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
I think equally meet this criteria of social butterfly. You know what I mean?
Well,
I'm
you
having
got
such a
to.
great time conversating with you. And I think
Yeah,
anyone else who gets the opportunity to be on this podcast will equally have that same feeling. So, be
yeah.
be fortunate if you get the email from Mr. Reyes. All right, this is a look. You know what I mean? So,
Oh man, hey, I really appreciate that, and I really am. I'm looking forward to having more people on the show. I think I've spoken to Granny Dot.
oh,
I've spoken
amazing.
to Officer Ritz. I've spoken
Okay,
to Dante Parrish. He's a new and upcoming rapper, I think, who just got signed with Ghost Records. He's
I
been
heard
putting
his
stuff. Yeah,
rap.
he'll be
Oh,
on
he's
here.
good. He's
Yep,
fantastic.
yep. I want to get Deli One on here as well, who's also signed with Ghost Records. He does.
It's Deli one, not two. That's all I
Yeah,
gotta
there
say.
you go. He does the UK drill stuff that is sensational here, really in the city. It's taken the city by storm. I mean, I guess it's really always been in the city. I've I'm just kind of new here,
You know
but
what? Same for me. You know what I mean? But you know what? You gotta show respect where it's
no,
due. You know.
absolutely. Yeah, no, that stuff is art. I love music, and I'm excited to have the musicians on here. So yeah, I mean, I've got Max Adams will be on here.
Oh
Hopefully
boy.
that'll be a good show. So man, listen, I've got the directors of Weasel News even that are coming on. Stephen Shiv and Baker. So it's going to be we've got a lot of good stuff in the work for my podcast, and that we haven't even scratched the surface. This is a Weasel News. This is in association with Weasel News, So, I mean, I've got this thing cooking. You can only imagine, what Weasel News is cooking up. So, yeah, man. I
Good
like I
stuff.
said, I really, really appreciate you being here. It was a really good time. I think, if you would be up to it, this is something that we could do again in the future. Because I've had a blast, man.
Absolutely. Yeah, I would love to do this again with you. I think this has been a great time. I'll admit I was a little nervous at first, had a little butterflies in my stomach, but you know what? This has been a joy. It's been so natural. It's been so
Yep,
wonderful.
that's what it's about.
Anyone, g- get on the DRE. You won't
I
regret it. I'll
appreciate it.
say it.
Yeah, man. Listen, I get nervous too. I don't get nervous until right before we start. That's when I start getting nervous. But once the
Yep.
conversation kicks in, that settles things out a little bit. So, but that I agree. Things went wonderful today. I think we had a wonderful conversation, and it's really good. And I hope the city appreciates as much as I do being able to hear from you, Bob. I really mean that because you're a great person here in the city. A lot of people know you, and you're an all around good guy.
Well, thank you. I know I preach, messages of peace and stuff, but look, I'm also someone, I'll just put it very bluntly with you, all right? If you come up talking to me, talking shit, and you want to be disrespectful, I'm gonna knock you the fuck out.
You got
But
to get
then
to the boxing club, man. They got the boxing club down there, actually
I,
not too far from the VU.
I was down there the other night for the police department brawl. That
Oh
was
yeah,
uh
how'd
that
that
was a
go?
cool one. It was nice. I didn't stay for the whole entirety of the event, but from what I saw, it was a good time. A few of those officers got some glass jaws. I'll say that. That's all I'll say.
Not gonna drop names. Some of you guys got weak jaws. That's it. Yeah, I
That's
saw
it.
some
Simple as
pictures of
that.
it on Instagram, I think. But anyway, man, it's we're going on an hour here. I think we're at a pretty good place to wrap things up. Again, before
I
we shut
agree.
this down, dude, I can't say enough. I really appreciate you being on the show. I hope we can get something together again. We can sit down and have another wonderful conversation. To everybody listening, thanks for listening. I really appreciate it. And um, I'm glad that me and Bob were able to sit down for you guys, so you guys could listen to us go back and forth. And I hope some of you guys learned some stuff about Bob you didn't know, because I definitely did. You're a great guy, Bob. So thanks for coming in today, man.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. I look forward to doing this again with you, Mr. Reyes. All right.
Absolutely. Is there anybody you want to give a shout out to? You said Rick Ritter, I think. Rick Ritter. And then is there anything else? You got anything in the works here in the city you want to plug or anything like that?
Nothing. I will say just, keep an eye out for the Diamond Casino. We're always looking at, host new different events and stuff. Come by there. I work there, do this and that. But, who knows? Maybe, we talk about fishing extravaganza stuff. Maybe I start dipping my toes back into Bob Handsom events. Maybe I get
Hey,
the old
Bob, you
band back
should.
together.
Bob, you should. Absolutely. And you can come on the show and talk about the events whenever you want. I'll talk to the people at Weasel. We can get those guys out there to get you some coverage. I mean, I think that's a great idea. I think it's something that you should pursue.
Yeah, I'll be keeping it in my consideration. But thank you again for having me. I
Yeah,
hope all you
absolutely.
listeners enjoyed. This was for you guys. So have a good one.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, guys, that's going to wrap it up. Thanks for listening. Hopefully, we can have this thing out in a couple of days. I'm really excited to get this podcast out to you. So let me know how it was, and we'll see you guys in episode 3.